So it really is true. Horizontal stripes really do make you look bigger. They should not sell pregnant women horizontal stripes. All right. As promised from the live call, an additional troubleshooting diaphragm exercise for you to work through if you're having trouble getting your ribs moving. The diaphragm is extremely important for function of a whole lot of things in the body, a whole lot of things. But just a couple of things that will relate to you exercise-wise is it decompresses and unloads your spine. Like, well, how does this work? How does proper diaphragm function decompress and unload my spine? That sounds crazy. Well, when your diaphragm expands properly, it expands in a 360 fashion, which, if you look at that, correct diaphragm expansion in a 360 fashion means back body expansion. Okay, so watch my wonderful horizontal stripes. Okay, so if I take a deep inhale, you can see how back body diaphragm expansion gives me space in my spine, even my lower back. Okay, check that out. So with every inhale, even small inhales, you're not going around breathing that deeply all day long, but even with small inhales throughout the day, you're getting a little decompression on your spine with every single inhale. How awesome is that? My back always feels great, and I'm 6 months pregnant, so I can tell you the decompression stuff really works. All right, so you get spinal decompression, helps your disc, helps the joints in your spine, zips up your diastasis. All right, so there was a big belly button movement, and I'm going to get into that later. I do not want my patients drawing in their belly button. Okay, it messes with your pressure system and your diaphragm. You guys will remember that from the pelvic floor series and that core module where we go over why I don't want you drawing in your belly button. All right, so don't draw in your belly button. Okay, but getting your diaphragm firing, getting your ribs in and down, working with rib movement for that exhale really helps to hold that diastasis together and helps you recover quickly postpartum. And, well, frankly, I've actually seen a lot of men with diastasis too. This is not just a postpartum issue. This is a how we load our body issue. Okay, so the diaphragm helps zip that up, gets you firing correctly throughout your core. It's a natural load transfer. Your diaphragm, when it's working properly and you get that 360 expansion, it helps to hold good posture and helps to load transfer through your core. So your back, your SI joints feel better. The way that your body is handling load is more effective, efficient, and supportive. So it makes you feel awesome. Helps stop those pelvic floor leaks. Like I said, the diaphragm works with the pelvic floor. You guys remember that? I think I've drilled that into your heads by now. All right, so making sure that diaphragm is coordinating with the pelvic floor. Tons of great exercises for that. So review those if you need to. And then tightness and stress relief. If you're not utilizing your diaphragm to breathe and expanding down and out into your abdominal cavity, you're a neck and shoulder breather. And what does that tell me about your levator scapular muscle? Do any of you guys have tightness right here? TMJ pain? All right, that's all connected to improper diaphragm function. So we need to get that diaphragm working. All right, so review the full diaphragm module, review the posture module. All right, those are both key for getting your head in line with your body. Okay, getting your posture correct, getting that diaphragm functioning correctly. Now, troubleshooting exercise. If you remember the exercise where we lie on your back and we get your ribs moving, okay, let's do a quick review about that. One of the main issues that I see in the clinic is they've been so trained to initiate from their belly buttons that they will exhale, their bellies will come in, and their ribs won't ever move. Okay, so what this looks like is, if you guys can see, I'll hold my ribs so you can see the movement. But if I inhale and I'm a neck breather or just a belly breather without rib movement, and then I exhale by drawing in my belly button and never let my ribs move, okay, this is bad because it's forcing pressure down into my pelvic floor and up into my neck and throat. I'll often have patients complain about like a reflux feeling, okay? So basically what I want to see is inhale, Ribs expand like an umbrella, 360, belly expands a little bit, and then exhale. Ribs come in and down. As you can see, I'm starting to get a belly in the way. All right, so ribs come in and down. All right, I'm looking for lots of great rib movement. And if you're like, Sarah, I'm trying, but I just can't get my ribs to move, I want you to roll on your side and kind of curl your legs up because we really want to get your paraspinals out of this. Then you're going to hold your rib cage. Okay, you can hold it with your whole hand. You can put half your hand on here, whatever's comfortable for you. And you're going to push down and across on your ribs. Not too hard, but hard enough to hold them in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, focus on back body expansion of that inhale. And usually when I see people the first few breaths, they're not getting anything into their back. All right, nothing. They're getting no posterior, no back diaphragm expansion. Okay, so inhale, and then as you exhale, push down and in on those ribs. Okay, gentle, push down on the ribs, and then hold them there through the next inhale. Let them come in and down more. Hold, inhale. Let them come in and down more. Hold, inhale. So you guys can probably see how my thumb was moving more in the back. So with each inhale, you get more and more stretching in that back body. And with each exhale, we move those ribs in and down more. Right? So what that's doing is that's helping to promote rib mobility so we can actually get those little muscles working underneath your ribs to get your diaphragm firing like it should. Okay, so really hold the ribs down. Don't be too aggressive, but feel your way through it. So hold the ribs down. And then that way, on the inhale, instead of you getting this big belly breath where your ribs are flaring in the front, which is a big problem for almost everything, you hold those ribs in place, which then gets you into that back body expansion. Okay, so exhale, ribs going down, hold, inhale. And you guys can see my whole back moving on that inhale, right? It should feel great. So if your back is feeling tight that day, give this exercise a shot and see if it doesn't relieve some of that tightness. And then usually after I do that, we can flip back over on your back, do both sides. And we can flip back over on your back. And then we can test. And usually you'll get a nice inhale. And then exhale. And you'll get even more rib mobility. All right, so that makes it easier. All right, so 3 steps we want to accomplish this. Step number 1, get your ribs moving. If your ribs aren't moving, it's like me asking you to strengthen your bicep without bending your elbow. Okay, you have these little muscles underneath your ribs. They look like little fingers. So if you look, kind of pretend I'm inside my rib cage, they're these little finger-like muscles attaching to all your ribs, and they pull your ribs in and down. Right, so these little interosseous muscles help push the air out and compress your rib cage down. We need to get them stronger. But if everything is stuck from sitting at a desk, sitting at a computer, our Western modern lifestyles, if you can't bend your elbow, you can't strengthen a muscle. All right, so step 1, get the ribs moving. And this might just take a little bit of overpressure with your hand. Work through all the exercises in the diaphragm module. Try that sideline one. If you're still having trouble, let me know. I'm here for full support throughout this whole program. So I want to know if you're still having trouble, and we'll come up with some more exercises. Easy, we'll find some that work for you. Okay, so first things first, get the ribs moving. All right, once we get the ribs moving, then we can work on getting them moving without you having to push on them. So you will start to notice, hey, I have muscle under there, I have control of my rib cage. All right, so that's what we want to see, is control of that rib cage. Then we can work on getting it stronger, and that's where that awesome hands and knees breathing exercise comes in, because you're breathing out against gravity. Okay, and then that's where the advanced balloon exercises come in, because man, that balloon, it is really going to tax that system. That's why I'm so excited to have added all of those balloon stuff in the third workout for the series, because we need to get this system stronger, and that's a great way to do it. All right, so 3 steps: get it moving, get it mobile, get it strong, moving on its own, and then work on strengthening. All right, so now let's go ahead and move on to the wall squat regression exercise that I promised you we'll go over. So the wall squat exercise really turns on diaphragm, pelvic floor, inner thighs and opens back body expansion, which is a great exercise, but it's a little hard to coordinate and execute. So let's go ahead and do a different variety of that exercise that is a little bit easier. Okay, so troubleshoot through that. And then you can go back to trying your wall squat. At home, I'm going to need you to find something that's about yay big. This is about